And howdy do. Hey, I am finishing off the last of my White River Copper Creek IPA. 7%. Website says 6.7, bottle says 7. But I always believe the bottle because it looks trustworthy. Why would it lie to me? India Pale Ale, complex hop and malt aromas with toasted malt flavor, a lengthy, spicy, fruity finish. Yeah, I kind of established that in the first video. I already poured it off here because I wanted to get a picture of it. Uh, so now that this has been sitting a little bit, see if it has some different flavors. Add more. Hey, sometimes I go into Foster Brooks' voice for no apparent reason. If it's my lovable, buffoonish, drunk, uh, that's kind of my persona. Anyway, hey, I do like this glass. I gotta tell you, I am a beer geek like nobody's business, and I am a sucker for any type of glassware. And I haven't drunk. I did actually. I was gonna say I didn't drink this out of another glass. I did have it in another glass the other day. And I'm getting bigger aromas from this glass. So I mean, it's probably all in my head, right? Because all of us beer geeks get sucked in on this stuff. But I really love the glass. I really do. Most of the friends that I've seen have one of these posted is the dogfish head version. So dogfish head. I don't get dogfish head in my neck of the woods. This one says Sierra Nevada. Can you see that there? But I like the glass nonetheless. So I picked up two of them today. It was a little more than I like to pay for glassware. It was 1998 for two of them, but what the hell, right? I do love glassware, man. Half the cabinets I've got in my house are for my beer glasses, so I'm gonna have to do something, get my beers glasses somewhere else so my wife can have her cabinets back. But you know, I have my priority. She has hers. I'm liking this beer for a lot of reasons. It's very different. It isn't a typical IPA. A lot of IPAs on the market taste the same or very similar. There's at least half a dozen out there, if not more, that can be intermingled for one another. This one is very different, and it changes as it goes, as a good beer will on you. Right now, I'm getting huge caramel notes on the nose along with little fruit. The spicy notes now, as I let it warm up a little bit, are more prevalent than they were earlier. I was getting bigger citrus early on, some from fruit notes, plum specifically. I had mentioned. Now I'm getting the citrus, but with a lot of just beautiful, beautiful spicy notes at the end. So one of those beers I'm really liking more as I go. I've had the opposite effect happen to me upon occasion, where something really tastes good at first, but you kind of get bored with it before you get to the end, especially when you're drinking a big bottle like this. So what I did is I had I drank just about half of it, I guess maybe just a tad more than half. Did a video, and then I waited about 30 minutes to drink the rest of it. 'Cause I wanted to kind of let it evolve. I left the rest of it in the bottle, waited about 30 minutes, and poured it off, and let it sit just a few minutes more, just kind of warm. I probably started with my first glass. It was probably between 40 to 45 degrees to start. It was probably somewhere between, it was probably about 45-ish by the time I quit. I started with this one, somewhere between 45 to 50, most likely. and I'm probably hovering at the 50-degree mark right about now, which is probably the right about temperature for this beer, maybe 55. But I like 45 to 50 personally. I am one of those guys, that do tend to like beers colder than a lot of serious beer snobs do. I do. I'm not afraid to say I like beers colder because of even though folks are going to say, well, you get more notes if you let it warm up, Tom. You also get notes when it's cold that you're not going to get as it warms. So that's why I personally like to start with it a little chillier to get those refreshing notes and let it warm and get those other notes. I'm not going to sacrifice those notes that I like to drink just because some beer snob thinks it's cooler to drink it warm. I don't dig that. So anyway, alien everybody, some bitch. Anyway, this is a darn fine beer. I was at a beer tasting, and I had their other flavors. They've got one other in a bottle. It is their triple, and it was nice. I don't have that one to do today. I'm going to save that one for another day. But I had some others that they don't have in bottles yet that are only available at certain bars. I'm going to have to find because I had a 7% double pilsner that was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, it was arguably one of the best double pilsners I've ever had. It is certainly, if it ever gets to a bottle and gets on the mass market, it's going to be one of the best double pilsners on the market. It is just that good. 7%, but the body doesn't feel thick. And I think where a lot of double pilsners go wrong is that they tend to be too viscous. Because if you're going to call yourself a pilsner, you still have to have the body of a pilsner, maybe a little bit more, because you're adding more alcohol, you're adding more hops. And again, that's the other thing. Your hops have to be right too, because otherwise you're going to resemble an IPA. So your body has to be right. The type of hops you use has to be right for it to still be 7% and taste like a pilsner. And that's what this one did, and it did it so beautifully. 7%. The body was just perfect. It didn't come off like a 7% beer. Uh, uh, and the hops were just gorgeous. It was just a beautiful beer. But their other stuff is fantastic too, but that's one that really kind of uh, we have a ghost. The door opened. Somebody must be coming out here. Is that you, Callista? Callista's making faces in the back. Her and Ben came to visit, so I just stepped outside to finish the last of this before I went back in there. Oh, they're all coming out. Oh my goodness, I have an audience. See, I went out here so I wouldn't disturb them, and they came out here and disturbed me. Of course, there is that argument to be made that I was already disturbed to start with, but that's a whole other story. So Ben is visiting me. Hi, Ben. Our grandson Ben is visiting today. Our daughter Callista. They usually come together. Ben doesn't usually come on his own yet.
Except when he freaks out and steals the car.
Of course, Callista's smart enough not to come without Ben either, so I guess that works. You can't show up to the grandparents' house without the grandkid. That's just the rule. So I did digress right there. I guess that's what's different for my videos than other folks is you never know what I'm going to talk about. Sometimes I talk about the beer, sometimes my mind wanders to other things. But here we go. Let me finish up with this here. Uh, nice malt sweetness, little caramel, some nice fruity notes, a little plum, little something else there, maybe little. Hold on a second before I commit to myself. There's some citrus going on for sure because it's IPA. You're bound to get some citrus, some definite spicy notes. It is a beautiful IPA. It really is. $7.99 isn't crazy expensive for a beer like this. It is a little high. I would love to see this in 6 packs for about $10 even. But this is a new brewery trying to get its feet wet out there. So I hope folks will buy it at this because it is just a beautiful IPA. So hey, this is Tom Beer. We're probably gonna get out of here. Oh no, I ran long again. I talk. You talk too much, Tom.